Next up is Howard Hatch with Form and Function, and I have a quick thing to say about Howard Hatch. Howard has been exploring forms and functions in furniture design for about 35 years since he was a student of furniture design at Rochester Institute of Technology in the 70s. His desire has been to make beautiful and useful objects for homes, institutions, and corporate spaces. This work has taken me to most parts of, he says, this work has taken me to most parts of this country and once to Paris, France. Some of my work focuses on the sculptural and some on the geometric and functional. Without further ado, Howard Hatch on Form and Function.
Thank you. Hello, Portland.
Hello, Howard.
Well, because I believe in full disclosure, I'm showing you first a picture of the first piece of furniture I ever made about 38 years ago. Some would call it kitsch, some juvenile, some hideous. But I've come to really like it because my kids grew up with it. And here's another piece that I made very early on, and I decided to show this one as well because it's got themes in it that just keep on coming back into my work, and you'll be seeing that as we move on. Okay, I'm fascinated with tables that expand in dynamic and interesting ways. This tabletop, the image you see on the top pulls apart in two pieces. There are two butterfly leaves that self-store inside the table, so you roll them out, close the whole thing up, and you don't have any problem with leaf storage. Here's another table that expands in an interesting way. That shows the table in its expanded form with the top that hinges open. You close it, turn it 90 degrees, and it's still centered over the base because of the geometry of where the pivot point is. This is my most popular chair, which I designed for the Osher Cartographic Library just a few blocks from here at USM. It became my most popular dining room chair, and I really like the back because it feels to me like the structure of someone's back. It looks and is very comfortable. Here's a barrel back chair, which practically put me into the hospital because I couldn't draw every aspect of it. That piece that goes and curves around the back is constantly curving and twisting, and I couldn't draw it, so I just mocked it up with scrap pieces of wood until I finally got it. Now here's a piece that evolved from the first barrel back chair. I designed this for the entry room for a law office, and I call it the Nimbus Settee because it's a cloud form, and I love the asymmetricality of that piece. This I call the beeswing coffee table. The forms in the top and on the legs are beeswing forms. The wood is called beeswing macore, which is iridescent like a bee's wing. So it's a nice combination of materials and form. This piece, I took a magnifying glass and looked really closely at a Tiffany-style ring, and I wanted the top to float like a gem, as in a Tiffany-style ring. So that faceted top sits on those, what are called in a ring, claws. Here's a piece, very sculptural. I love this piece because of the way that three curves come together. The two circles cut in each L-shaped piece, and then the inside curve from a top view of that L-shaped piece all come together, and they create a fourth curve, which is where the action is in this piece. Now, sometimes I take a form and use it in something else in a completely different scale, which I've done here with my view lamp. And all that sculptural stuff still going on, and it's a nice, very small lamp. Here's another sculptural lamp. The base is a conical form dished out at the top for your marble collection. And the nice, curved, graceful, vertical coming off of that cone supports the shade. Now, I've done a lot of work for churches. This was the first church I ever did in Freiburg, Maine. And you see, again, coming back to my obsession with the tapered form and going up into the curved transition. So I was fortunate to meet a liturgical design consultant on that project, and he set me straight to get more work along liturgical lines. And now here's one of an ensemble of pieces from a church in New Jersey, which had, I like my ensembles to have some unifying design elements, the tapered form, the swoop cut out for verticality, and all of them were either circular or semicircular. Now this is my favorite specialty, pool tables. Here's the first pool table I ever designed. Remember the tapered shell carving? Well, 25 years later, I came back to it, and this went into a house by the sea with a lot of nautical references. Now, I had a big problem. What am I going to do? I want to build pool tables, but I can't make a pool table on spec. It's too expensive. So I make a model, photograph it on a seamless background, and post it on the internet, and sell the real thing. A moment of silence. There's the real thing in Sedona, Arizona, and that is not a picture. That's the real view from my client's back window. So I decided, well, I need to make more pool tables. So I made another model. There is what I call my arch pool table. It's a model made in exquisite detail, right down to the pockets that have the right lip thickness in that scale. So when I photograph it on a seamless background, it looks like the real thing. And wait for it. The real thing, there's the real thing with a companion piece, gaming table with similar details in the background. This has gone on to be my most popular pool table, and I've sold pool tables all over the country, soon to be out of the country, and it's been a lot of fun. Now, my last picture is what I'm working on right now. This is my new rail system where the top rail curves in a continuous form down into the apron, and then the corner becomes a lot of compound curves, very sculptural. Very excited about this new form.